Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It is a beautiful Friday. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous outside here today. And I did my walk, and I just want to be done with the week. I don't really have anything to talk about, so I'm kind of delaying talking about not having anything to talk about by sanding on this pedal case. Maybe we could talk about this pedal case in some sort of weird way. I painted it yellow. This will be the compression pedal that I've been working on. And I painted it yellow because that's the color of paint that I have. I had red or white or yellow, and I love yellow. Yellow is one of my favorites. And Malia hates yellow. So for that, I decided to paint it yellow. But I have never successfully painted anything. I have put paint on things, but I have never made anything look good with paint. I have never had the patience for it. I've always been sloppy with it. I've always rushed the process. I've never learned. I know for a fact you're supposed to put on lots of thin coats. I've never done it. I've never once succeeded at it. But with this thing, I got pretty darn close. It's almost good. For whatever reason, there's a couple of spots on here where the paint didn't stick, or maybe when I sanded it between coats, I popped off some sort of dust and it just never really filled back in. But I got the back of this pedal, I mean, it almost looks like a factory paint job. It almost looks good. And that's surprising to me because I've just never, ever, ever had the patience for this sort of thing. I painted this last weekend. The paint that I have says you're supposed to let it cure. You're supposed to repaint within 2 hours or wait 48 hours. So I just waited this whole week to let it kind of cure. Do I have anything? The problem is, with these rounded edges, if I try to hit this top with anything other than steel wool, I'm just going to rub the paint completely through on these corners, and that's the issue that I'm having right now, is the paint is already rubbed through on those corners, and then when I painted it, I didn't pick it up and really get the edges, so the edges are poking through. The top looked pretty good, except for those spots where the paint didn't stick. So, I wonder if I have, what do I have here? I have 240, 80, and 120. Probably all of those are too aggressive. That's 220. I thought I had some 400 somewhere. I must have used it all. Anyway, I'll find something. I will hit this with something a little less aggressive than 220, and I will try to get this top, at least get these blemishes out. And then I think I'm going to take, like, if I take a block and put some double-sided tape on it, I should be able to then paint this in a more appropriate manner. But anyway, this entire conversation was just for the fact that I have really nothing to talk about. I appreciate all of the comments on yesterday's back pain video and suggestions. I do all the things. I really do. Here, I'll give you a list. The exercises that I do, 3 days a week. I was doing them every day, and I felt like when I went to Denver and the back pain went away, I didn't do it at all while I was in Denver. And I was like, well, maybe I need to let it rest for a little while because maybe I'm just exacerbating damage by, continuously putting effort in. So I do it 3 days a week. I'm doing supine bridge. That's where you basically lay on your back with your knees bent and then you lift your pelvis and tighten your glutes. I'm doing bird dogs, which are when you get down on your all fours and then you stretch out opposing arms. I do cat camels, which is when you arch your back, you get down on all fours, stay on all fours, you arch your back, and then you invert your back. Child's pose is basically just like stretching forward on your knees, like you sit back on your feet and you lean forward and stretch out. And then a lower back rotation, which is laying on your back, knees up, and then you rotate your knees to the sides. And then I do squats, just simple, body weight squats to tighten my glutes. I was told by a PT that people with strong butts don't have bad backs, and so I walk every day, and I try to do as many step walks as I like, take steps as much like vertical. He said walking uphill was really good. And while I'm out there doing my walk, I go to the park that's over here, and there's a few picnic tables that I stop at, and I do push-ups off the picnic table. My shoulders are pretty torn up from being a mechanic, and I can't do push-ups very well flat on the ground. It hurts my shoulders too much. So doing either with like knee push-ups, like, you know, without my full body weight, or using like a wall or a picnic table where I'm some of my weight is resting on my feet, I can do push-ups and at least get some sort of upper body exercise. And then I do tries off of the same tabletop. They don't hurt my shoulders for some reason, but the push-ups do. So I do push-ups and tries off of, there's a few picnic tables that I stop at, so I do those. So I'm doing the things, right? I don't sit all day. I get up and walk around as much as I can. I get up and play bass. I cook meals, and I do all of that stuff standing as much as possible. I try really hard not to sit the entire day. And, you know, I'm just doing everything I can think of without going to see a doctor to see if I'm having nerve damage. If I do have a blown out disc or something, then nothing that I'm doing is going to help. I mean, it's not going to hurt, and definitely it's going to help prevent true muscle tear and pain or whatever. But I need to probably make sure that that it's not a nerve issue. It's, you know, who knows? Maybe I discovered recently that there's such a thing as spinal cancer. I'm not saying that I have that. I'm not a hypochondriac, but I didn't know that was a thing, and that's terrifying. So, whatever. Anyway, the point of all this is I didn't really have anything to say today. But I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for a great week. Thank you for interacting with me about furniture building and heirlooms and back pain. And I really appreciate the feedback. I really, 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 really do. So thank you for providing the feedback. Thank you for asking questions and whatever, giving me things to talk about and things to do. We've been doing this for 8.5 years. 8.5 years I've been doing this 5 days a week. You know, it's hard to continue to find things to talk about. And I really appreciate that when you ask questions or when you provide feedback, that gives me something to talk about. And I know what and then it becomes really easy. These kind of videos where I just turn the camera on and just spout words, I always feel guilty about them. I know that some of you think they're great and you appreciate them. I feel guilty because I feel like they're not providing any content, any value. But it is what it is. It's the weekend. Tonight I have tickets to see Brian Regan. He came to a local venue, and when there's a national touring artist that comes to West Virginia, to any venue that's that's in West Virginia, I'll buy tickets, like just to make sure they keep coming back, right? Even if I don't intend on going, I'll buy tickets. And he's coming close. He's like 20 minutes away. I can't believe I get to see Brian Regan just right down the street. So I'm going to go to that tonight. My kid has a ton of softball this weekend, and then we're moving Roland in on Sunday. She goes back to college. So that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, it's a big weekend. What do you got going on? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow, Monday. Today's word you should know sounds smart is yenta. It's a noun meaning a woman considered a busybody or gossip. Spreading rumors among ourselves is one thing, but Rebecca has gained a reputation as a yenta because she also blabs to the help. Yenta, Y-E-N-T-A. That's interesting. I don't know that it has anything to do with the root word yen from yesterday, a strong desire or urge, but maybe it does.